Leisure with Tracy and Michelle. Take it away, sisters.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to Sisters of Leisure on this nice, cold, brisk Sunday evening. We do appreciate you for returning and watching us. I'm Tracy Cook, one half of Sisters of Leisure, where we are living every day and seeking and understanding real events.
And I am Michelle, the little sister.
That's my younger sister. Anyway, I had the pleasure, you all, of meeting Jimmine Haigler, and this is her beautiful sister, Adrian, at an event called Beauty Is Me. And she was just like, hey, come over here to my table, because she was a vendor there at the event. And she talked about finances. And it just like, you know, this is something that we all need. Mm-hmm. We all need to understand finances and how to be good stewards and to elevate our finances in a bigger way. So I'm just super excited to have you, both of you ladies, on the podcast today. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So I just want to ask, let's just get right into it.
Mm-hmm.
How did you all get started doing this with finances and teaching people how to manage their finances?
I'll go first. So actually, I got started through my sister. So my sister actually brought me into this platform. And so when she, showed me about just being properly educated financially, I was like, oh my God, I'm all in. We have got to just, boots on the ground, get in these communities and just, spread this instrumental and powerful information. So my sister is actually what got me into this business. And I just thank her, for actually, bringing this, to my attention.
Yeah. Awesome.
Well, I got into the business because I was a travel nurse, and I was doing travel nursing for 15 years. And while I was traveling, I got an assignment in California. So in California, I came across this nurse who actually showed me this platform and showed me, all about finances and financial education. And she was like, hey, just listen. She said, I know you're a nurse. I know you go back and forth between, California and Georgia. Just listen to, what I got to show you. And so from the first time I sat down and listened to what, we educate about, I was like, oh my gosh, my wheels just started turning. I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, nobody that I know on the East Coast knows this information. I was like, this is, like they say, money in the bank, because I'm able to, me being a pioneer for the East Coast, able to bring this education to the East Coast. So that's how I actually got into the business, because of me meeting this fellow nurse when I was travel nursing.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, because when you spoke to me, I was like, you're very well-rounded and making it very clear about what we need to do, because a lot of people don't know this information.
Exactly.
They have no idea.
So why is, and we get into the information of what you're talking about, but why do you believe that this information is not shared? Like if it's good information, if it's something that we all need, why do you think it's not like in schools or, taught in college, or, it just blows my mind.
Well, I will speak about that briefly. For me, the masses, which is 90% of Americans, do not know about this information is because, number one, they don't have the financial educators out there that, number one, know it themselves, and number two, the rich and wealthy, their financial educators, they're not coming into the communities like, Black and brown communities or just minority communities itself. And so that is why most Americans do not know it, because if you're not in a certain income bracket, just, keeping it 100, there are certain things that society is not going to tell you about. Let's just keep it 100. So that is why, again, the masses do not know about this. The rich and wealthy do. They know about it. But again, the masses don't, because again, people aren't going into, not coming to our communities, making us aware.
Yeah. So what is the secret? I want to know what it is. What is the financial secret?
Do you want to take this, Adrian, or you want me to?
Go ahead.
Okay. So, the financial secret, I will share a little bit, But the
Okay.
main purpose is that, we definitely want to sit down with you. We want to sit down with you and we want to just listen to your individual financial needs and goals, because our job is, number one, to make sure that you are on the right track to meeting those financial needs and goals, and that you're in a healthy financial state. So that's first and foremost. So definitely, book an appointment with us and we'll definitely, share the full secret. But I will say, what I will talk a little bit about it as far as the secret. You want to just make sure, number one, if your goal is to not lose money in retirement, if your goal is to not, lose money when you're saving, you want to look at what type of account do I have my funds in? Do I have my funds that are tied to the stock market or not? That's just one little secret. Okay, so if your goal is, hey, I want everything in retirement, then definitely sit down with us, because we can put those financial strategies and plans in place. That way you you don't lose money, because we do specialize in guarantees, not variables. So if you were the type that, you don't mind losing money, then this platform might not be what you're looking for as far as, sitting down with us and learning the secret. One thing about the rich and wealthy, they don't like to lose money. So again, if that's you, definitely sit down with us. But that is, a little bit of the secret. But to get the full secret, we definitely want you to book an appointment with us and we can share, everything that you need to know as far as protecting your money, from the market. If you're looking for, tax-free growth, tax-free savings, we do specialize in that as well.
Now, you were saying about term life insurance, and I just want to know, say if someone were to get life insurance today and have an unfortunate incident tomorrow, would that full coverage be covered for that life insurance, or how does that work?
So one thing that people need to realize, there are different types of life insurance. You have your term, and then you have your whole. And then even then you have what we call, I guess, cash value life insurance. So depending on what type of life insurance you have, if you were to get ill, traditional life insurance does not pay out for that. Traditional life insurance only pays out if you were to pass away. But if you have a more, I guess you could say, upgraded life insurance, then those type of upgrade life insurances, they will, cover you if you were to, fall sick, injured, ill, things like that. So the key is looking at your policy and determining, again, what type of policy that you actually have. But if it's traditional, hands down, and I know most employers offer the traditional, then 9 times out of 10 is going to be pretty much a death policy, as opposed to a policy that you can use for, again, illnesses, things like that.
So basically, with your service or whatever type of policy you have, you just got to look at it and see, do I have death insurance or do I actually have life insurance? Because one thing we do state is that with you have a regular term, well, one thing about term insurance, it only pays out when you pass away. And a lot of people, especially, in our communities, are not aware of that. They just know, hey, this is cheap, I'm covered, that's all I need. Well, no, you got to think about what you're getting into, because one thing about it, once those contracts are over, then what do? You're not covered. So that means now you have to either renew it or get another one. Well, you got to keep in mind, you're renewing it or getting another one based upon your age at that time and your health at that time. So if you started a term policy paying $20, $30 a month, when that contract is over, those premiums are going to, double or sometimes even triple, depending upon your health and your age at that time.
Yeah. So doesn't it, and this is in pretty much it's insurance, because I've heard a lot about this, insurance, a lot of, like you said, wealthy people know that, you gotta get insurance policies and get them pretty early, because for instance, will it make sense for a person that's like myself? I'm 48, I have insurance, but wouldn't look the same as a policy that would give me a return, because I'm 48, and usually you get a return when you're had the policy for 30 years, right? Isn't it how it goes?
No, again, not with this platform. With this platform, we talk about those type of products that, again, you will see a rate of return on your funds a lot sooner. You won't have to wait 30 years. So that's what makes this, this platform unique than again, the traditional, policies. With this upgraded policy is what I call it. You do have cash value on one side as well as your life insurance on the other side. So I call it, a combination account. And with that cash value, you can utilize it as long as you have funds in that account. You can utilize it. You don't have to wait for a certain age or what have you. As long as you have funds in that account, then you can utilize those funds. And like I say, yes, with these type of accounts, the rate of return is magnificent. It's not what the bank gives you. It's not the pennies on a dollar, 0.01% that the banks will give you. No, these accounts are giving you some, A+, A-rated, bona fide rate of returns. That way you can see growth in your money within, 1 or 2 years.
Very good. Very good.
So I'm gonna ask you, so if you wanted to use that money, will you be taxed? Because I know that a lot of times when with the 401k, you get taxed like 20-something% when you want to use it for whatever you need the money for.
Right. And the good thing about these strategies that we put in place for our clients, it is a post-tax vehicle. So when you take money out in the end, you are not taxed. So that's where that, that tax-free retirement, that tax-free savings come in. Because you're right, with the 401k, number one, you will be taxed, federal for sure, and then state, depending on what state you are in. And then if you try to take money out sooner than 59.5, you will get hit with that 10% early retirement penalty. Again, with these financial strategies and financial accounts, as long as money is in there, you are not hit with the early, pulling out of funds, 10% penalty. And again, these are, tax-free accounts that where when you pull your money out, you're not taxed because you're paying your money. It's a post-tax. You're paying your money in the beginning on that small, on that seed, as opposed to the harvest.
On the seed as opposed to the harvest. I love that. That was good.
I mean, it's so like it, and you know what? And I hate that, there's so many questions when it comes to finance. Like, I feel like financial literacy shouldn't be so tough to kind of break through. It's like, we so used to this, go to work, get your 9 to 5, go to school, make this money. And in all actuality, it's like, no, that's not even, I feel like I ain't even been close to what I should be knowing and learning about when it comes to finance. And it's just really unfortunate how it's just like this hidden thing, and we've been told to go to work and go to school and have student loans and all these things, and come to find out it's really something much simpler.
Exactly.
It is
ahead,
something much simpler, but one thing about it you got to keep in mind too is you got to look at people's mindset. Because we can sit here and talk to people about how to properly set yourself up financially, but it's all about your mindset. Are you willing to change? Are you willing to get better? Are you willing to grow? And it all depends on the individual. That's why we always have individual sessions to be like, hey, this is what you came to us with. This is how we can, assist you or get to a place where you're trying to be. What is your financial independence number? We call it a FIN number. What is your financial independence number? Okay, let's see what we can do to get you there with in a shorter amount of time versus, working 20, 30 years and being like, man, I'm about to retire, but I don't have any money saved for retirement. Well, let's make sure you get there. That's our goal. Let's make sure you get there. We can do everything we can to assist you, but it has to be your mindset. You have to believe in yourself, believe in what you want to do, what future you want for yourself and for your kids and for your kids' kids, that generational wealth versus, okay, well, this is what I've been doing for the last 20 years. So I'm just going to stick with it because it's been comfortable. When are we going to stop being comfortable? When are we going to stop being comfortable? Because, this is the time is now, with everything going on with the pandemic, recession, inflation. Are you still comfortable? Because 2020, that pandemic showed a lot of people how essential they were when it comes to their employers. So for me, it's all about mindset. Are you willing to better yourself?
Yeah.
And just to add one little piece of additional information, with these type of strategies that we put in place for our clients, we actually teach them to invest in themselves. And for me, when you teach people to invest in themselves, I do, like my sister said, I think that definitely helps with changing your mindset. If you don't show people how they can invest in themselves, then like my sister said, people are going to just be living, just living comfortably, just getting by. Because again, it sounds good. It's, they're familiar with it. But when we say, hey, let's show you how to invest in yourself, then the light bulbs go off and people are like, oh my God, wow. So just wanted to add that, as well.
Yeah. Self-investment is, you know what? Since I've gone in the endeavor of entrepreneurship, business, self-development is, to me, it's turned into a spiritual journey. It has definitely turned into a journey that I didn't think it didn't look like this in my brain when I initially was like, oh, I want to be an entrepreneur, this is that and the other. I'm thinking, graphs and numbers and all these things. And come to find out, it's self-development. It's
Faith.
Yes. It is knowing yourself and trusting yourself. And it's just so much bigger than what I thought it was. It's not this piece of paper with a whole bunch of graphs and numbers on it. I don't even see graphs and numbers unless I go on my website, back office. You get what I'm saying? Every book I pick up is, hey, remember, your mindset is important. Read more, learn more, trust yourself. You're powerful, all these things. And so I'm off the soapbox, but.
No, you're fine, because that leads to affirmations as well. It's about affirmations. How do you feel about yourself? What do you believe about yourself? Because I never thought I'd be a business owner. I thought I was going to retire as a registered nurse, but I knew I wanted better for myself. I wanted growth. I love growing. Like, I love learning, every day, all the time. Like, I listen to podcasts, I listen to webinars. Like, I just love growing. I love, bettering myself, because if I better myself, then I can better my circle. And as that's like, and it's all about, not only yourself, but your circle peak as well, because if you're growing, then your circle is growing. And if your circle is growing, then the people around them are growing. And it's all about growth for us. And we just got to understand that. We just got to keep it in mind. It's all about growth. It always starts with growth. God first, then growth. So I always say God, then growth. I always think that way.
And just to add, Miss Michelle, you talked about something earlier when you said read. Another thing that I like about what my sister and I do is that when we sit down with individuals and families, we give them resources, because a lot of stuff that we talk about is in books. I mean, what would the Rockefellers do? If you haven't read that book, read it. The Power of Zero. If you haven't read that book, read it. Money, Wealth, and Life Insurance, read it. So a lot of things that we do talk about in these sessions, they're in books, but unfortunately, we don't want to read. So I'm glad you mentioned that you said, since you've been an entrepreneur, you've been, like you say, reading things just to, further your knowledge. So that's very important. Very important. At the end of the day, you don't want to be that type of person that just gets everything off the internet. Anyone can Google. Anyone can Google, but again, you want to actually pick up a book, because that, number one, that shows you're serious about what you're trying to learn. Take the time to pick up a book and read it. So I'm glad you talked about that earlier.
And it builds confidence.
Right, exactly.
It just builds confidence, knowing that you can get a rebuttal, knowing that you know more in depth of what you're talking about, and not just, so that's huge to be,
like sisters, like my sister and I at one point, I'm like, I'm not reading that. I'm not doing it. But because she has been doing it so much and having all these books, it has inspired me to pick up a little something every now and again to do that, because I do get a lot more. So it's very important, people. Read.
Yes, like they say, knowledge is power unless it's applied. So pick up a book.
Pick up a book. Yeah, that's huge. That is. So how long have you been in the finance industry or in your business?
Well, for me,
2 years.
Yeah, 2 years. Yes.
You said 2 or 10?
Going on 2. Going on 2 years.
Okay, that's good.
Okay. And who inspires you? Like, who inspires you to be motivated to do what you're doing every day?
I take it, yes. Well, my motivation has always been my mother. My mother, you know, we were growing up. My father passed away when we was very young. I was 6 years old. So my mother has always been that stomping ground, that, you know, that what they call that pole for us, that you know, that pillar for us. And she was a single mother, you know, not by choice, but she just grinded. I saw her, you know, going, you know, to work every day. She picked up 2 jobs just to make sure, you know, we can have a Christmas, you know, different things like that. And so she has always been my why. So when she, you know, passed away last year, like it just even got even bigger for me. Like I've been like on this whole new, you know, now that my why, because like we always say in our business, if your why doesn't make you cry, then you need a bigger why. And just thinking about the things she has done for me and how she, you know, even, you know, just is planted in me that, you know, that roughness, that toughness to keep moving no matter what, believe in God, because his path is far greater than any plan we have for ourselves. Like that just motivates me even more. So when this opportunity came to me and I even talked to her about it, she was like, well, if this is what you want to do, go for it. I got your back. And she did. And like this platform has allowed me to, after 15 years of nursing, to retire and do what I have a new passion now. I have a new passion for education. You know, I was, you know, educating people about how to stay healthy. Now I'm educating people about how to get wealthy. And so I've always been, you know, an educator, but now it's on a different realm. And because of her, like I know I wouldn't have been doing this. I already know that between her and I know I wouldn't. So because of that, like we pushing like for, you know, all 50 states, we getting this word out to everyone because everyone needs to be in a position where they are properly financially prepared, especially now, like, you know, times like this. Who wants to live paycheck to paycheck? I know I don't. I know them days are old. This is a new day. This is a new time. This is a new season. So that's why, you know, that's how, and that was my motivation for, you know, stepping out on faith with God and then stepping out and doing what I love to do. And that's educate.
And just to add briefly, so yes, like my sister said, our mother, but then for me to add on to that, the number of people that just don't know this information. And I know that I met you, Mrs. Cook, a week or so ago, but my sister and I mean, we're out here like 3 weekends out of the month. We're in different communities, again, because some people that don't know this information. Just last night, I was in Snellville, Lawrenceville, for a hair salon. A lady, she was opening a grand opening for a hair salon. And so I got a chance to connect with so many barbers, so many hairstylists, you know, their clients. And so I'm going to actually call them this week, but I just look forward to just getting them on our calendar, sit down with them and just sharing the information. But for me, the number of Americans that just don't know this is what keeps me going as well. So
I just feel like by chance, it was not by chance that we didn't meet. So I'm just glad. I mean, you are very persistent. I don't think I answered the first call, but you sure did call again and I answered that phone. And I'm just so happy I did. I really, really am, because it's just, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful. You know, God only connects you with the right people that you need to be connected to.
Amen.
You know, so I'm just grateful that God connected me to you ladies.
Yeah.
Likewise.
And that's part of like being a business owner, being persistent. Have you always been like that, persistent? Like, you know, like how did you build that up?
Well, I'm going to say for me, for the most part, yes. And I say that because my background is actually legal. So my background is legal. Prior to this business, I actually did indigent defense. And so what that means for those that were accused of a crime that couldn't afford an attorney, then the court would appoint, you know, someone like myself. So for me, I want to say yes, persistence is definitely, you know, something that I have experience with, because even the criminal justice, you know, arena, you have to be persistent, whether it's, clients getting back with you, making sure that, you know, you get discovery from the district attorney, the prosecutor. So persistence is definitely something that I've been exposed to prior to this financial business. Or even just, you know, trying to get, you know, bonds for your client with the judge. So got to be persistent on that as well. So just a lot of, the legal field definitely, you know, exposes you to that very quick.
Okay.
Very quick.
Now, for me, no, I have always been an extrovert. I have always stayed by myself, kept to myself, quiet, got everything done behind the tables. That was me. But because of this platform, because we're also, you know, leadership development, it developed me to be a leader. So now I'm very vocal. Like, if you would have asked me like 5 years ago to sit on a radio, I'd be like, no, not me. She can talk, but I'll be here, but I ain't saying nothing. But now, just because, you know, like with the books, I'm expanding my knowledge, I'm expanding myself, I'm growing myself. We can talk all day.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about this platform. It gives you that ability to step out and believe in yourself and have that confidence. So that way, when we go to these events, when we go to these schools, we're able to be like, hey, let's sit down, let's talk. Let me reach out to you for a second. Let's talk about some things. And so because of this platform, I'm able to do that. So now I'm able to, you know, now I am persistent. I'll be like, hey, did you reach out to such and such today? Let's get it back on the calendar. Let's do this. Let's do this. So yes, I love it. And that's why I'm blessed by this opportunity, because it has allowed me to grow as a woman, as a Black woman, and as a just an entrepreneur.
Yeah. Yeah. So so you said that you were a traveling nurse, and you know, well, I guess we got a few minutes. So walk me real quickly through, how did you talk yourself into quitting your 9-to-5? Like, how long did that take you?
Well, for me, it wasn't a 9-to-5, because, you know, nurses, we work 8, 12, 16 hours.
Yeah.
So I spent 15 years putting time, energy, and effort into somebody else's business, clocking in for somebody else, working for somebody else. And when I came across this opportunity, I was like, I could spend 8, 12, 16 hours building my own business, because I had no time. I had no, like, I worked night shift. I was tired. I was exhausted, and I'm too young to be living like this. And that was my thought to myself. I'm too young to be living like this. There's got to be something better than what I'm doing right now. And when this opportunity came to me, and I do not believe in coincidences, I do not. So when this opportunity came to me at a time when I was like, Lord, what am I supposed to do? What can I do? Because this is not going to work for me. I already knew, like, he already planted it in my, you know, because I'm real big on faith. He already planted into me that, hey, this is your opportunity. What you're going to do with it, that's up to you. But I'm giving you this opportunity for what you've been praying for. And so that's how I was able to. And no, I did not give it 2 weeks. When this was presented to me, I gave, and I don't recommend this for nobody, I gave a 1-day notice. I said, I cannot give you what you need right now for this position. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to free myself from you, so that way you can find somebody who can. And I haven't looked back. I have not looked back.
Wow. You know, that's amazing. See, God gives you that faith. You praying for something.
Yes.
He gave you an answer. So what are you gonna do with it?
Yeah.
Run with it. And I've been running ever since.
I love that.
Could you please tell people how they can get in touch with you?
Well, you can get in touch with me. I do have an Instagram. It's my first and last name, Adrian Haigler. That's it. I keep it simple so people can find me. My Facebook is the same thing too, Adrian Haigler. Simple. You can find me. And then I do have a LinkedIn page, Adrian Haigler. I keep it simple. You can find me. So I don't want to make it too complicated. So yeah, so those are the 3 ways you can get in touch with me as well.
Okay. How about you, Jimmine?
Yes, so I actually built some team A.T.A.P social media websites. They're pretty long, so I'm probably gonna have to just send those to you. That way you can send it out to your audience. But we actually do have Team A.T.A.P, which stands for All Things Are Possible. We do have a few social media pages, from Facebook to LinkedIn to Alignable. That's a fairly new one. So those are just some of the ones that we do have that are out there. But I will definitely send those to you, Mrs. Cook, and you can just distribute those to your audience.
Okay, so all things are possible. I love that. And it is.
Even if you go on Facebook and type that in the search, that should pull up our logo as well.
Okay. Okay, awesome. I'm just so happy you all came on. I'm looking forward to getting the link so I can send it to our viewers, so they can know where to find you, and hopefully y'all could do business and help them with their financial growth. Because
yes, ma'am.
Yes,
ma'am. And just another bonus. not only do we do personal finances, but for those small business owners, we also have small business finances as well. So again, this platform is very unique. We do it all. And again, everything is free. We do not charge for our services. However many follow-ups you need, again, it's free, free, free. So if you need assistance on the personal finance side, this is a platform for you. Or if you need it on the business finance side, it's also a platform for you. So I like to think of myself as a one-stop shop for finances.
I love that.
Awesome. Well, we just want to thank you, Adrian and Jimmine, for being on Sisters of Leisure. Please, everyone, if you need help with finances, they said it was free. Why not call the experts?
Yeah.
Call the experts and get some financial literacy for free.
Yeah.
Adrian Haigler and All Things Are Possible. Look it up. Call them. Email them. DM them.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So we can all gain something for our finances. We all deserve better finances and great stewardship in our finances. So please reach out to these ladies. They will definitely get you where you need to be. Well, we thank y'all for being here.
Thank you for having